Hello, everyone, and welcome to Blow the Whistle Sports. I'm your host, Wayne Holloway, and yes, we're back up in here on the 27th, coming live from Los Angeles, California, ready to give y'all all these updates and everything going on. My man, Dion, sorry to hear he had to get his first one. We're going to talk about that. It's been crazy with the injuries, and I know you guys with your fantasy football, we got to give some updates and we got to put some perspective in fantasy football on these trades. I got blasted for a trade I tried to put in, and I got to get you guys' opinion about it. It's been nagging at me. Oh, well, injury bug, fantasy football, Neon Dion, uh, basketball updates. Oh my goodness, let's get into it. Let me introduce my co-host, Mr. Steven Rubain. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing amazing tonight. How you doing?
Man, I'm flustered right now, man. I'm flustered. My team has got me in a zone, in a mode that I haven't been in a while, and I don't like being here. We're not relevant, and I like to be relevant, and it's really
Well, you look a little clean shaven to me.
Oh my God! I thought I hope you wouldn't notice, but I had to apologize to everybody. I know I wasn't supposed to shave until my team won, but I had an interview today, and I just couldn't do it. Go to the interview looking scruffy. I had to put my best foot forward.
Do it for the team. Do it for the team. Be scruffy for the team. You need to be scruffy for the love of your Carolina Panthers. Cali Cat Pack.
What I'm going to do is I know I haven't figured it out yet. I was thinking about adding another gift card, to give two people if they two people at the top who's beating me when it comes to fruition. We'll see what's going on.
You need to do something because that was a letdown for me. So those who don't know, before the season, I told Pack and I had a conversation on the show, and we talked about how bad the Panthers were going to be this season. And of course, Pack, being the eternal optimist, was like, "No, they're not. They're going to go 13-3. They're going to do." And I said, "Pack, did you watch this team in the first season?"
Did my voice sound like that when I was saying it?
No, you didn't say. I'm just.
Hey,
I'm just giving y'all the.
Hey, but no, I wasn't that hard on it, Steve. I always have to put just like going for the interview. I'm not going to ever think my team is going to do bad. Come on now.
So he said, this is his words. He said, "Look, I'm so confident that the Panthers are going to win. I'm not going to shave until the Panthers win their first game." I said, "Bet. That's an easy one." I looked at the schedule. I said, "They're not going to win no games. You might go on to Christmas time. You might be looking like old Saint Lick come December time, the way the Panthers look."
Hey, well, it's something that has to be done. I believe Andy Dalton is the best look right now. Bryce Young is our future. He is where we're going. He is the person to be there. But we need that spark. We need somebody who's not afraid to take lumps, somebody who's still auditioning for a job even when this is over. We need Andy Dalton in there so Bryce Young can get the speed of the NFL down, man. Because right now he was just looking like a deer in the headlights.
And guess who was back at practice today? Bryce Young.
Yeah, he should have never been out of practice. Nothing was wrong with that, man. Come on now.
Well,
they wanted him to sit down and look at it from the outside.
Right. Well, one thing we agree on is that Andy Dalton's your best chance to win. So they need to keep Andy Dalton in there. But giving your coach, and like I say, he's a Maryland guy, so I gotta want to cheer him on.
Well, that's probably what's wrong with him because
he's
dude. They should have went out and got a bona fide number one wide receiver to help a young quarterback.
I agree.
We needed somebody with a name who demands a double team. Cali Cat Pack, Roaring Riot, Panther Nation. Stand behind me and listen to what I'm saying. If we had a bona fide number one that demanded a double team, he will always have a look open. He will always have a look open where he can force the ball here or something, make something happen.
Or at least have a strong running back that, can be a, shield or protection for him. Someone that they can, defense will respect.
And I don't understand when he came in here, he cleaned house.
Cleaned house.
He got rid of the best running back in football.
Yeah.
Well, that happened
the best
before he got
the
that
best
happened,
running back in Carolina.
That happened before he got here.
That's before he got there.
Now, and then he got rid of DJ Moore, which made no sense. No sense at all. But like I said, I don't know his direction. I'm a Carolina Panther fan is just waiting to see what's going to happen. I'm not going to talk bad about him. I'm going to let him do his thing. Let him show me what's the big picture. I want him to show it to me. Show it to me, because right now they should have went out and got DeAndre Hopkins. That would have been the perfect fit here. But now it looks like we're going to have to get rid of our main piece on defense to get some wide receiver equity. We need to go after a big name. And what I'm looking at is who's that man over there in Raider Nation?
Devontae Adams.
He's not happy over there, right?
At all.
Right now, we have a fresh QB that we know can get him the ball. What we need is him, not even swap. We need to get an offensive piece too.
Yeah, the question is going to be what can you guys give up? I mean, I know you got Brian Burns, of course.
Brian Burns is enough.
No, come on now. You can't make a straight Brian Burns for Devontae Adams trade. That's not going to happen.
See, here we go with this trade thing again. Burns is a number one pick, right?
Yeah, but a number one wide receiver, you can't trade for a guy of Burns. Probably you have to Burns and something else. Probably Burns and a draft pick.
I understand what you're saying, but on the flip side, we had a guy named Christian McCaffrey, which is the best running back in football.
Yeah,
we got number twos for him. So right now, Adams is not doing anything over there. He looks like a dud over there.
Right.
Why should we give up more equity for him when we got peanuts for Christian McCaffrey?
Well, you guys got peanuts from McCaffrey because that was a dumb trade. I told you that when that trade was made, I said it was a dumb trade. Did I not?
Yes, you did.
And so I mean we're going to blame it on the other regime. So we can't blame it on right now. We have to blame it on the guys who were there before him, who now is stinking it up in college football in Nebraska.
Well, excuse me for venting right now. I got off topic. You know.
Yeah, we had to get it out there. I mean, I know it's hard for you. Well, this week, at least this week, you have a chance to win. This week, this is probably your best chance if you're going to win a game in the next 4 or 5 games.
Here you go.
But let's get to the news though. First.
Just throwing rocks. Kick it off, Steve. Where you going?
Go. Well, today we had a big trade in the NBA, the National Basketball Association. Damian Lillard, who for months has been asking out of Portland, has decided now, after months, there was talk that he said he would only go to Miami. That I thought was a mistake because you kind of lower the expectations of where you can go if you say I only want to go to one team.
He wanted that beachfront property, man.
Yeah, he wanted that beachfront property.
He wanted to see the waves go back and forth.
No sales tax, no income tax. That's what he was looking at.
Hey, it sounds good to me.
Right. When you're in a state like Oregon, where it's one of the highest income tax in the country, yeah, I guess Florida does look real nice. But he ended up going to your old stomping grounds. Where's your old stomping grounds? Tell people what's your old stomping grounds?
He went to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee Bucks.
Uh-oh.
So Damian Lillard was traded today to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes, sir.
So Milwaukee, who you guys know several years ago.
Say Milwaukee again.
Milwaukee Bucks. Yeah.
That's home sweet home right there.
Home sweet home. So it's going to be a good move for him. Like I said, the Milwaukee Bucks a couple years ago, NBA champions, they needed a change. They needed something just to shake it up. They got probably the top 5 elite player in the game.
Would this put them right back into it?
Yeah. This definitely puts them back in top 2, 3 in the Eastern Conference. And quite frankly, depending on whatever moves they make, they could be the team to beat in the Eastern Conference now. You got 2 studs in Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. And so build the right pieces around them, they're going to be straight. So this is a 3-way trade. So, and then keep in mind too, this has to pass all the physicals. So you know how that goes.
That's simple for them.
One person misses the physical, somebody's gonna be like, "Oh, We don't want to make a trade no more. We're done. So you got a lot of players in this trade. So let me go over real quick, and I'm going to name them off the trade. So as I mentioned, the Milwaukee Bucks are getting Damian Lillard. The Portland Trailblazers, who are trading Lillard away, they're getting Drew Holiday, who I'm going to tell you guys, they're already talking about they're going to trade Holiday for more leverage because they already got a young point guard they drafted this year, first round, called Scoot Henderson.
Scoot!
Scoot! So if you don't know the name Scoot Henderson, you will know it soon because he's a stud. He's going to be one of the elite players in the league real soon. So they got, and that was one of the reasons why trading Lillard made some sense, because they want to give this young guy a chance to get in there and do what he does. And so they got Drew Holiday. They got DeAndre Ayton from the Suns, who, I guess for the last several years has been kind of up and down with them, and they've been trying to look to ship him off. So he's going to Portland. Then they got a role player in Tamani Camara. They got the Bucks' first round pick in 2029. I mean, that's so far away. You can't even think about it. 6 years from now, they're going to get the Bucks' first round pick. And then they're swapping picks, the option in 2020 and 2030. So, I mean, that's one of those, they're planning way, way in the future. So the Blazers are rebuilding. They say, we're going to get a young nucleus, and we're going to go out there and just rebuild for the future. Now, the Phoenix Suns, the third team in the trade, they also are a team talking about championships. Because, they got, first of all, so Phoenix Suns, they already got 2 superstar studs. And so they want to sit here and say, let's go out and get some more role players to go with them. So they're getting Jusuf Nurkic, who's going to take over the center. He's a pretty solid center in the NBA.
Where's he from?
He played for the Portland Trail Blazers for a couple of years. He's been their center. So he's pretty solid. I mean, he's not as good as Ayton, but he's up there. So they're getting him. They're getting Grayson Allen, another role player, Nasir Little, and Keon Johnson. So they just want to build their bench up. So Phoenix is like, we already got Durant, we already got Booker, we got the starters. We need to build the bench. So that's their look on it. We'll see how this trade plays out. It's one of those that, we may not know for several years. I mean, for Phoenix and for Milwaukee, it's championship or bust. For Portland, they're just looking to the future. They're saying, look, we got to rebuild. We're going to get a bunch of good young guys in there, and let's see if we can make it happen. So we'll see.
Basketball going to be interesting this season.
Is. And training camps are opening up in the next week. So,
and what's that new contest they're going to do?
Oh, they're doing an in-season tournament. So, anybody who follows professional soccer knows for years and years, professional soccer has done these professional tournaments in the middle of the season where they'll have teams come in and play other teams and kind of have some kind of, some made-up tournament championship, some CONCACAF Cup or whatever. But it's, it's just something to mix things up, give people a different outlook, different perspective.
So will these games count for the season?
The games count for the season, yes.
That's dope though.
Yes,
it gives you more than just waiting for the final game.
Right, and it's something new, and it gives teams that maybe otherwise not have a chance for play for the NBA Finals a chance for a championship. So some of these teams who may never, like I said, have a chance to win the NBA Finals, they can win this tournament cup.
They found another way to make some money.
And the question is, the players can make some money because first place team, I think everybody gets $1 million. I think second place, they get like $500,000. So, it's going to come down to the star guys, LeBron James, $1 million. When he's making $100 million a year, what's that matter for him? But those guys on the bench, they going to play hard. They going to play real hard. When you playing for $1 million and you barely making $1 million a year.
Well, in NBA, they make a lot of money even on the
bench. Yeah, but $1 million?
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
$1 million is $1 million.
$1 million when you barely making $1 million. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. So I'm excited for that. Turn into a little sad news for me. It should be sad news for all baseball fans, but especially for me, growing up an Orioles fan. We lost one of their all-time greats this week, Brooks Robinson.
Wow!
At the age of 86. Growing up, like I said, as an Orioles fan, grew up in the D.C. area. Brooks Robinson was like bigger than life. He was well known in the community. One of those guys who just always stayed close to the community, and anybody knew anything about baseball knew who he was and what he stood for the organization during the time when the Orioles were a dominant team.
Losing a lot of big names, man.
A lot of big names, yeah. They seen and they lived long lives, 70s, 80s, but we're losing them one by one. And this is one of those, that hurts close to home. So, and it's kind of like where baseball is now, because I was just thinking about this the other day. I was thinking about Jim Brown. We lost him a few months ago, and it's like some of these guys. Like if Jim Brown would have passed away 25, 30 years ago, it would have been humongous because Jim Brown. When we were growing up,
the activist
Jim Brown, not just the activist, but Jim Brown was considered not just the greatest pro football player of all time, but one of the greatest athletes of all time. If you talked about 25, 30 years ago. But over the course of time, new players come along, things change. And, and Jim Brown's stock, I don't want to say his stock went down, but his legacy kind of went down some.
Well, they smeared his name.
Well,
everybody has problems and tribulations and troubles. And,
right.
And what happened was, he had the domestic violence thing. He had a few other things, and he was well outspoken. And back then, people of color, they didn't like you to be outspoken. So, it is what it is. But
I know, but it's still hard to see these guys, who were great legends in the game and just kind of like not getting their due. That's what I'm trying to get at. They just, I was thinking about last year, the year before when Bill Russell died. And Bill Russell's one of those other ones who 30 years ago, 35 years ago, Bill Russell was larger than life. I mean, he was just all over everything. And over the course of time, the legend kind of changed from Bill Russell, went on to Michael Jordan, of course, now LeBron. And his stock kind of went down. It's kind of like people forget how great Bill Russell was and how great those Celtics teams were. And how many, with 11 rings.
I think it goes by era, though.
Right.
They have their diehard fans in every era.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to get is that the era changes because the younger people move in, and the younger people don't see the great ones the same way that their era did. So everybody era sees a new star, and then that new star becomes greater than the old stars.
Yes, outshine.
And so, yeah, this is just something I was just thinking about the other day. And I was just thinking, if Brooks Robinson would have died maybe in 1985, 1990, it would have been the huge story in sports.
Right.
It kind of was like now, okay, well, a great one died, and we just move on. It's something I was just thinking about. Sometimes we think about these things. We want to give them their true legacy, true respect they deserve for what they meant to the game.
Well, we want to give a true shout out and rest well.
Rest in peace, man. Let's get to some college football. We got to change the tone.
Yeah, you got to liven
it up. Liven the tone up a little bit.
You brought us down, made us feel
I know,
bad.
but it was personal, so I just had to bring it out. But
we had to remember him though.
But this is kind of down too for those who are Deion Sanders fans. The Colorado Buffaloes.
Whew. Buffalo.
We rise them up to let them fall. This is one of those cases where
come on, man.
The hype was bigger.
He won 3 straight. He lost 1. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, but it was a bad loss.
A season's not lost. Hey, you know what? They needed that letdown.
Yeah,
they needed that letdown.
They needed it.
They need to re-gear, get focused, and this team only won 1 game last season.
Oh, I know.
Let's keep it practical in what's going on. They won 1 game already. He's changed this whole organization around.
Oh, absolutely.
And he's brought attention to this organization where people just shunned him off.
I mean, the attention, the big thing. That's the thing that's pissing people off is that he's using his name, he's using his image to bolster that organization. And other colleges are jealous. I don't know if you heard the story that there were other college coaches, other college teams that were helping Oregon in game planning against Colorado because they wanted to see Colorado lose.
Hey, do what you do. The haters gonna hate.
Haters gonna hate.
And players gonna play.
So that's an interesting perspective because now they're playing against USC. We all know how big USC is.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
They got to bounce back. I mean, that was a tough loss, 42-6, and quite frankly, it wasn't that close. It could have been worse. Oregon called off the Dogs in the second half.
Hey, but I love to hear that they had to plot to get him.
Had to plot to get him. I mean, He's America's #1 favorite son. He's America's #1 enemy at the same time.
I've heard the same argument that you were talking about. People, his image, they're tired of seeing him beat Deion.
Right.
Deion, that's crazy.
Yeah.
This is a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champion, played 2 sports.
Absolutely.
Could have played more than 2 sports. He's the man. This is the man that made a video.
Oh, he was
prime time.
He was making primetime videos, music videos. He was.
What did you think was going to change by him becoming a coach?
Nothing. I mean, he is what he is, and that's what made him the success that he's had is because he is who he is.
I asked one of his haters the other day, do you want him to turn the money down from the promotions and things that's going on? Or no? Why would he turn that down? Promote this team and propel them. Let them move on, man.
Well, what's funny is that like he can do a commercial with Nick Saban, and Nick Saban does all types of commercials, and nobody has a problem with Nick Saban doing a commercial. But when Deion does a commercial, then it's like, oh, he just promoted himself. What's Nick Saban doing?
But what is Deion supposed to do?
What's he supposed to do? I mean, it's just
everybody's happy to get a Hall of Famer. They not only do they get a Hall of Famer, they get a Super Bowl champion. This is a legend.
I mean, it's a legend.
Anybody wants to be around this legend.
I mean, and as he mentioned, he said, "You think we're good this year? Wait till I really have a full year to go out and recruit. I'm going to bring in. I mean, that team's going to be devastatingly good.
They're gonna hate on this man forever. So
they're gonna hate on him.
We got to get used to that.
It's what it is. So yeah. So the big game this week, like I said, Colorado's playing against USC in Colorado. It's gonna be where the game days are and all that good stuff.
Right. We got to give a shout out to Darnell.
All right.
Mr. 49er in the house.
49ers in the house.
Sticks 10. He said, what a packet. Oh, he want to hit us up. And then we got the bang Niner gang in the house. James Johnson. What's going on, sir?
Hey, Niner fans have a good reason to feel good about themselves. I guess we got to open our phones up this week because
most definitely we're gonna open.
We do need to hear from the Niner fans. We want to hear. We talked about our top 5 last week. We'll get to that in a few minutes, but yeah, one team has fallen out of the top 5 for sure.
Any more college football news, or is Deion Sanders the big?
I mean, it's pretty much college football right now. I mean, there's other things going on. Ohio State squeezed by Notre Dame. I mean, right now the college season's kind of just warming up. There's no real consensus top 4, so we'll hold off on that until we start getting more clarity as to who teams are that look like they're going to get the job done. So.
And Stacy, thank you for the like on Facebook. We appreciate it.
We appreciate it.
Please like, subscribe, and share, and follow us on YouTube. You can also get in this contest if you're not already in at officefootballpool.com.
Yes, let's get into the NFL. Let's start with that officefootballpool.com.
We got to go there because you look a little excited right now.
Do you want me to tell them or do you want to tell them?
You go ahead and tell them because you're the one that's doing it right now. Go ahead and tell them.
Well, at the beginning of last week, I was somewhere in the middle of the pack, still trying to find my way in the office football pool. Had a tough couple the first 2 weeks were tough by my standards. 9-7 and 10-6. That's good by the average person's standards.
There we go.
But when you're a football connoisseur like me, football gene, I'm supposed to dominate in picking sports.
Wow.
So this week I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and use my logic instead of just picking my heart.
Have fun now, Steve. Have fun now.
And I went 13-3. And quite frankly, the 3 games, we're going to talk about the 3 games I lost because Cowboy fans. You know how much. How much do I hate the Cowboys?
Oh, you about to get star status mad up in here, sir.
How much do I hate the Cowboys?
Star status? That's that man talking right now. Go ahead. Kick your spill out, Steve.
Listen to me. I said I'm not going to pick with my heart. I'm going to pick with logic. And I picked the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Arizona Cardinals.
Wait a minute. You picked the team that you didn't like to beat somebody?
Like I said, I thought I was picking with logic instead of with my heart.
But you wanted to pick the Cardinals.
I wanted to pick the Cardinals so bad. But I said, there's no way the Cardinals can beat the Cowboys, even in Arizona. I said
that too.
I said there's going to be more Cowboy fans there than Cardinal fans. It's going to feel like a home game, and the Cardinals are just going to run all over them. Let me get back to my. Do I need to get back to my America's team comments of how
Hey,
Jerry Jones has ripped off these fans and believe in this team's America's team?
woo! Let me go ahead, Steve, do your thing.
For those who don't know, I have been long ranting about how the Dallas Cowboys have pretty much been the greatest ripoff artists in the history of professional sports, marketing wise.
Ooh.
You got Jerry Jones. Back in the 70s, the Cowboys came up with this great marketing scheme of saying, we're going to call ourselves America's team. And it made sense at that time because there really was no other team that was really, lighting things. Yeah, the Steelers were good, the Raiders were good. The Cowboys said, no, we're going to sell ourselves. We got a star on our helmet, so we're going to be America's team. And America bought it. And, they had Staubach and Dorsett, and, they won some Super Bowls. So, I mean, it worked. Then they went through the Danny White era. Oh, that was fun time for Redskin fans. Man, the Cowboys were horrible. Redskin fans loved it, and then it was, kind of died down. And then Jerry Jones bought the team in '89, and he said, we're going to go back and try to resell ourselves as America's team. They went on and got Aikman and Smith and, of course, the playmaker.
And they did that.
Urban, and they did that. They won 3 Super Bowls in a total of, I think it was 5 years, 6 years. They won 3 Super Bowls. Cowboy fans were excited again. So Jerry Jones, being the great businessman that he is, he really kept selling that America's team. He built, probably at the time, was the greatest stadium in NFL football at Cowboy Stadium. Fans loved that. Then the reality set in. After 1997, it's been 25 years where the Cowboys have been selling themselves as America's team and don't even have an NFC championship game to show for it.
Ooh.
No championships. I think their playoff record is like 7-11, something horrible.
He's holding no punches.
No punches. But every year, though, Cowboy fans said, this is our year. This is our year. And this year, I bought into it. I saw that 40-0 game against the Giants. I said, okay, that defense was looking stellar. I'm going to put them as a top 5 team. You remember last week, I said they were a top 5 team.
Hey, that's who was it. But I didn't put them at number 1. I gave them number 2.
Yeah, well, I put them. I said, okay, but that defense, I said they're the number 1 team. As much as I hate the Cowboys,
hey, you jumped on the bandwagon.
I jumped on the bandwagon fast, and I'm jumping right off as fast as I jumped on it because I saw the Cowboys team that I've seen the last 25 years.
Darnell said, "Preach, Steve, preach."
I'm just calling it like it is. All you Cowboy fans, we've seen this story before. Y'all go in there with all this hype, all this belief that y'all going to be this year's a team. It's going to be more letdown. So I'm leaving it at that.
Oh,
yeah, y'all
there it is.
You're going to have that.
There it is right there.
You're going to have that blank space. Speaking of blank space, I'm going to call that look on your face when your team losing the playoffs, you have that blank space. It's like, what happened?
Well, I'm going to say it like this.
This was our year.
I'm going to keep it wide open. And what I'm going to say is this. I don't think the Cowboys is as bad as it looked when they played the Cardinals. What I'm going to say is that the Cowboys was smelling their own sauce. Now, I was giving one of my homeboys, which is a diehard Cowboy fan, Mr. Star Status himself, I was laying into him a little tough because although I like the Cowboys defense, I say their Achilles heel is Dak Prescott, and I stand on that.
Yeah.
Now, with that being said, he's like Dak Prescott's cousin, long lost cousin or something, because my goodness, he defends this man with his every moment dying breath. Dak Prescott can do no wrong in this man's eyes.
I understand that, but listen to me. That is, but as much as we want to hate Dak Prescott, they lost that game on defense. I know they didn't have Trayvon Diggs. Diggs is out for the season, but they made Joshua Dobbs look like he was the elite quarterback in the league. He looked like a top 5 quarterback against them.
So
we had a James Conner
throw any interceptions in the red zone.
Of course he did.
Oh, okay.
But
that's not his fault.
Of course it's not his. Of course it's his fault. I'm not sitting here saying Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, he does what he does. That's what he does.
It is what it is.
He makes turnovers. But their defense is supposed to be elite. And an elite defense does not let the Cardinals do what they did against them. We haven't had a James Conner sighting in about a year and a half. He was putting up huge fantasy numbers.
All I'm gonna say is
I saw Marquise Brown. We haven't seen him since he was with the Raiders.
in the Cowboys defense, I think they were just smelling their own sauce. They
Well.
got their heads was this big when they went to that game, and they thought they can just go in there and wing it, and they got it handed to them.
And yes, they did. Yeah, they did. Okay, so you think they're going to come back and be a top 5 team again?
Yeah, I think they'll be fine.
I don't.
Like I said, as long as their defense is what it is, they'll be fine. What's really going to show us is that game against the 49ers. That's going to let us know every team right there by.
Right. Well, that's who they need to get by, the Niners and the Eagles. So we're going to see. Let me get back to blank space, because this is probably the story that's been blowing up in the NFL. We got to spend a second talk about this. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. You know, unless you've been under a rock or have been somewhere in outer space.
I didn't think he was going to bring up Travis.
Yeah, how can we not bring it up? I mean, this has been the story of the week. This took over everything else that happened in the NFL. All people keep talking about is Travis Kelce got Taylor Swift at the game. Travis Kelce drove off in the limousine or in a convertible with Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
He went to the restaurant with Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Macaroni.
Those who aren't familiar with it, real quick, several months ago, she was in town performing in Kansas City, and he, those who know her story, that she likes to make bracelets, that friendship bracelets.
Oh.
So he came out and went on the McAfee show and said he made a special bracelet for her with his phone number on it. He wanted to give it to her, but wasn't able to. But he's hoping that if she comes to one of his games, he'll be able to give it to her. And so it was kind of like one of those tongue-in-cheek things. Everybody said, "Oh yeah, whatever."
And next thing you know,
she showed up. So, bingo. So this is like the story that's going to blow up for the rest of the year. Is
macaroni.
Where is this going to go? What do you think? Do you think it's going to last?
A pop star, not just any pop star, but like a icon pop star.
Correct.
We'll give her that. And the best tight end in football.
Correct.
Hey. Love's in the air?
Love's in the air.
I don't know about lasting, but it's going to be some fun while it do last.
It's going to be some fun while it lasts. But yeah, I think it's much like the Cowboys. It looks good when you first see them, but then reality sets in. So it's going to be a sad. I just can't wait till that. I always love that day in January when the Cowboys losing the playoffs. And then you get them Cowboy fans on social media.
You putting it on thick, boy.
I'm giving it to them because it's going to happen.
What I want to know is that game when the Cowboys played the 49ers, where are they playing that at?
I think it's in San Fran this year, right?
Because you know how San Francisco did the Rams Stadium. It
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
look like the Rams Stadium. Where were the Rams fans at last week?
You know something?
We didn't bring that up. Where were they at?
You know something? LA is not a pro football. Let's get this clear. LA is not a pro football town.
Mm-mm.
It never was a pro football. You really think about it. Even when the Rams played back in the 70s, the early 80 teams, remember when they moved to Anaheim? They couldn't sell out the stadium then. Remember, that was the whole reason why they left to go to St. Louis, was because they weren't bringing the fan base in.
But if I remember correctly, they just won a Super Bowl, and I saw so many people with Rams jerseys on walking around this piece.
Yeah, because they're fly-by-night. Those are fly-by-night fans. Those are the people who only show up when the team is elite. If you don't have an elite team in LA, you don't get fans. Look, the only two teams that can get fans in LA not being elite are the Lakers and Dodgers. Those are the only two. If everybody else, if you're not winning, you're looking at a half-empty stadium. So
James Johnson said Dak Prescott is a second-string quarterback.
Well, I wouldn't go that far. He's a average first-string quarterback. Let's just leave it at that. He's an average. He's serviceable if you put the right talent around him. If you put let's say like this. If you put Dak Prescott in San Francisco, that's a championship team. You put him in San Francisco, championship team. He just had to have all the right pieces.
Dak Prescott in San Francisco?
Yeah.
I think that
you give him McCaffrey.
I don't think 49ers like to hear that.
Well, they're not going to want to hear it, but I'm just saying, if he was on that team, they'd be championship.
I don't think so. I think Dak Prescott would look like Garoppolo.
No.
That's what I think so.
No, and let's remember, didn't Garoppolo take them to the championship game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
working with a good system.
with a good system. That's what I'm saying. So you give Dak Prescott that system, they'll be all right. It's too much pressure in Dallas.
Hmm.
Like I said, Dallas is just a case where the fan base just thinks every year this team's going to be the championship team. And when you put that pressure on the team, that's a lot for them to overcome.
I want to see who's going to take over this stadium when they play.
Oh, I know. It's going to be fun. That's going to be one of those. They're going to be fighting.
I don't want to be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to that game.
I would not go to that game.
Nah, it's just too many folks who are clueless who just want to go out there and just do
we're
nothing
not
but
going to
fight.
push that narrative. What I'm going to say is you guys be classy out there.
Yeah.
Be the men that you are. You know what I'm saying? You can talk as much trash as you want to, but come on, keep the fist to yourself.
Control your liquor. Don't let the liquor control you.
Exactly.
That's all
Don't let it run you.
Don't let it run you. You start getting that 1 or 2 beers in your system, and all of a sudden you're feeling froggy, you're feeling confident, and then next thing you know, you think you're in the WWE. You think you're in a full out brawl. I think it's like the old Wild West.
Give a shout out to 7 Canvases Art and Decor. Thank you for coming to the page and giving us some love.
We love that. Thank you.
We're getting ready to open up these phone lines.
Yeah, call on in. Tell us if you're a Niner fan, you don't like what I'm saying about the Cowboys, you're a Niner fan. Any of that. While we're waiting to open the lines up, do you want to get into these injuries?
Go ahead. And last week we didn't emphasize enough. Our heart goes out to Chubb. We want to see him okay. As much as I love him as a running back and I use him in fantasy football, my goodness, man. He does need a big contract, right?
Yeah. Well,
what was his biggest contract?
He didn't get much. It was maybe, I think he was supposed to make like $19 million a year, which it's our average for a running back. That's not huge money. But the good news
is for this premier running back.
Right. The good news is that they said that it wasn't as horrible as they thought it would be when the doctors went in there and looked at the knee. They said it was just an MCL tear and not an ACL tear. That's the big one. That's the one who keeps you out for a long, long time.
They said 8 months though.
So it's 6 to 8
months.
A long time. Yeah, but ACL tear, you're talking about 12 to 15 months. Oh. And so the MCL tear, think about 8 months. He can be back in time for training camp.
How can you get your mind around? This is the second time you have this type of injury. How can you get your mind around stepping back on the football field?
Yeah, it's going to be a real mental test for him to see where mentally he is.
And is the team still going to bless him with the contract?
Oh, they have to.
Or do you think they have to?
Yeah, I think they have to. If he is healthy to come back and everything, the doctors test him out and say he's healthy to come back, the Browns need him. I mean, he is the heart and soul of that team.
He is what it is.
I think the Brown organization would do right by him and make sure to take care of him.
We would like to think so.
We would like to think so. So I have faith in the organization that, like I said, if he does pass all the tests and looks healthy enough, they're gonna take care of him. They're gonna make sure to give him a good, solid contract and keep building on him. But let's start with Deshaun Watson. Watson made a semi comeback this week. We were a little hard on him last week. Little question marks as to what's going on with him.
Steve, he got to do it 3 weeks in a row for me to give him props. You can go ahead and give him props all you want to.
I'm not getting props.
But this was the 3rd week that just passed, and he finally showed up. Russell Wilson still ain't showed up.
Oh, goodness gracious! I'm glad you brought the Dolphins up.
I brought Russell Wilson up.
Well,
you had the Dolphins on the mind, and you couldn't wait to say something about them.
Tua. Who started Tua in 7 of his fantasy leagues this year?
Oh, my goodness.
Man, Tua was beautiful. The only thing that hurts about Tua? He gives up too many of these touchdowns to running backs.
I'm not mad at him.
He had 70 points this week, 10 touchdowns, and he only got 3 of those touchdowns passing.
Now, guess who has Mozart?
Man, Mozart had 3 touchdowns. Oh, no, sorry. 4 touchdowns himself.
Hey, don't cheat me out of my touchdowns, Steve.
I know. He had 4 touchdowns. And then the backup running back had a couple touchdowns himself, too.
I think he had 4 also.
Yeah. 3 or 4? Oh, I had 3. Because Tua had 3. The backup running back had 3, and Mostert had 4.
What was it, 70 to what?
70 to 20. And did you hear the funny part now? You got owners now who are criticizing the coach of the Dolphins, McDaniel, for running up the score. Ain't that something?
Somebody always gonna say has to have something to say.
They had 70 points before like 9 minutes left to go in the game. And then they scored another point after that. They could have easily had 77 or 84 if they wanted
break the record.
To break the record.
And I didn't get the. Did you get the reasoning why he didn't want to break the record?
He was telling some gibberish. It was kind of just one of those respect for the game.
Man,
blah blah blah. Come on, forget that.
You ran up to 70 points. You better break the record.
Break the record. Yeah, it was some gibberish.
2023, sir. Break the record.
Break the record. We got fantasy implications on this. I was upset. Let's say I was upset they took Tua out. I was like, this is me. I'm sitting up there and I'm like, who's this guy in the game? He don't look like Tua.
Steve, you got enough points, man.
Because this is me. When you play in fantasy, you want every point you can get. When a team is hot, you don't want to see nobody else come in the game.
And that team was hot. Let's give it up for the Dolphins.
Yeah, give it up for Dolphins. Next time, Daniel, keep Tua in the game. Don't take that man out when he's hot like that. You're breaking his rhythm. And you're hurting fantasy people all over this. I was like, more touchdowns, please.
Can they keep it up?
Yeah, that's gonna be
Can they keep it up?
Let's see what they play this week. They play the Buffalo Bills.
Hey,
this is gonna be a test.
I'm looking for big things. I'm looking for them to have turned that corner. I'm looking for them to stand on their 10 toes down and do that thing.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too. I'm taking the Bills. We'll get to picks in a second, but
look at you.
I know.
I'm a little ahead of yourself.
A little ahead of myself. I got a little excited there, but we don't get to the picks. But
let's talk fantasy just for a quick second.
Go ahead.
Fantasy football people. Now, we got to talk these trade things out because people got on my case for a trade that I put in. Now,
listen to this trade.
I put in Adam Thielen and Khalil Hubbard.
Yes. Adam Thielen, a solid number 2 solid number 2 wide receiver in the league.
Number 1.
He's a number 1 with Carolina, but traditionally he's a number 2.
Right now, this season that we're playing fantasy, see, don't downgrade my fantasy football person.
I'm speaking as a fantasy person.
Well, that's why I say we need a commission because when the person's on the team and he's been evaluated by the team, on Carolina, he's a number 1 wide receiver. So I'm going to give him his designation as a number 1 wide receiver.
Okay. So, we're going with your trade first, and I'm going to do my rebuttal on your trade. So tell them the trade first.
My trade was Adam Thielen, Khalil Hubbard for Justin Jefferson. And I was giving him 2 for 1, and I would have gave him 3 for the 1 because he had 3 slots. He got hit by the injury bug. So he needed 3 people to play. Without the 3 people to play, his team collapses and he loses games. He still needs 2 people or 3 people to play, depending on if one of his people came back or not. Now, I had everybody in the league on my back behind this trade.
As they should be. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to throw you, okay. Right now, consensus number 1 quarterback in the league is Patrick Mahomes, right?
Right.
Okay. Now, say if you wanted to make a trade where you wanted to offer Patrick Mahomes for David Montgomery and Joshua Dobbs, would you take that trade?
Well, is that 3 people?
Yeah. No, it's I just told you, it's Patrick Mahomes, and you're trading him for David Montgomery, a number 1 running back, and Joshua Dobbs, a number 1 quarterback.
Okay. Now, McDobbs, who's my backup quarterback?
Here's your backup.
But see, this is the thing that you're leaving out. You have to put it all so everybody understands.
Yes.
Now, my team, I don't need anybody.
Okay.
My team stands alone. My team is doing just fine by themselves. This team is shut down unless he gets 2 or 3 people.
Right.
Now, I was taking Justin Jefferson. Yes. I was taking
the number one wide receiver in the league by far.
And I was giving him a number 1 running back and a number 1 wide receiver.
Okay.
Which the wide receiver scores just as much points as he does. He had 1 bad week, and that was his first week. The next week he scored the same as him, and last week he outscored him.
Okay, but let's keep it real though.
It's only been 3 weeks.
It's only been 3 weeks.
And we can go off of what we have,
and
not for future. Steve.
And we know Justin Jefferson is going to be, when all said and done, he's going to have 100 receptions and he's going to have 1,400 yards.
And so
it's just the nature. It's the nature of the Vikings offense.
Adam Thielen is set to do the same thing.
No, your offense, he won't, because your offense is still god awful. Even if you put in Andy Dalton.
Only an opinion.
But it's not an opinion. It's true.
What we're going, well, the second week he scored the same amount of points as Justin Jefferson.
He had a good game last week. I'm not going to put anything.
That was the second week. The third week he outscored him, Steve.
He did.
He outscored. Justin Jefferson got 20 points. Adam Thielen got 31 points.
And that's a 1 week.
The week that that I would have traded him to him.
Right. Listen to me. I'm telling you, that's a great week for Adam Thielen. That's probably his best week of the year he'll have.
Justin Jefferson has been getting 20 points every week.
Well, that's Cousins' fault. I mean, we can go into the whole Cousins thing all day.
But we're only talking about what the trade was.
Right.
See, that's what I'm saying. I understand where people are like, oh, Carolina's not doing good. But what I did was I put his team in there with the aspect of they still can flourish.
Right.
They still, if let's say I would have gave him, he gave me Justin Jefferson and I gave him Christian McCaffrey.
Right.
That does not help him. So that's why I was saying you guys are right about the concept, but you're wrong about what's going on. You can't ask me about my team and trading somebody. I don't need anybody.
Now,
he
first,
needs 3 people.
I understand. Now, first of all, we agree on that. I told you when we had the conversation, I told you, look, your job in fantasy is not to help somebody else's team. Your job in fantasy is to help your own team or look out for what's in your best interest. So,
bingo.
That is under no question. Let's make this clear. If you're playing fantasy football, it's your job to keep your team the best it can be. It's not anybody else's job to look out for your team or look out for what's going to be best for you. So if you want to make a bad trade, that's on you.
Now, you told me that you were fine with it. I still went out and told everybody, since I was commissioner of this league, please veto this trade. But I still don't think anything was wrong with the trade. If you're coming to me and you need people, I don't need people. What I was told in the league that I'm in is like, no, you have to give up 2 or 3 of your best people, hurt your team to make this person's team better. That's the only way this trade makes sense.
Well, I mean, let's compare on an NFL level. It's like what you talked about earlier with the McCaffrey trade last year.
Right.
Carolina made the Niners better. They made them into a team to go to the NFC Championship based on that trade.
Bingo.
It's not 49ers' fault that the Carolina was stupid enough to make that trade. They're doing what's in the best interest of their organization.
Well, Carolina also thought that all those picks, using those picks would have made us better, which they would if we theoretically we keep the team that we had. We don't trade away everybody. We get Christian McCaffrey's gone.
Right.
If we keep all those picks and stack our team, all we doing is waiting on the quarterback.
Okay.
We make our team a place where any quarterback would want to come to. But what we did was we traded that stuff away.
For what? For hypotheticals. I mean, let's be honest. McCaffrey is a proven commodity. He's shown, given health is his only downfall.
So is DJ Moore.
Well, I was one who was ballistic when I made that trade. I thought that was a crazy trade.
But regardless, I'm going to leave it alone with the fantasy thing. But I just wanted to put it out there. We're going to open these phone lines.
Open these phone lines up because I want to hear people's opinion on that. Would you agree? If I said Mahomes and Joshua Dobbs had a huge game last week,
right?
But would he be comparable to Mahomes? No,
he wouldn't be.
Same with Thielen and
he wouldn't be comparable to Mahomes. But listen to this: if I have Patrick Mahomes and I have a decent quarterback that's backing Patrick Mahomes up that I can put in there, and I need 3 people or 2 people,
no,
Patrick Mahomes is gone, sir.
No, you never trade a guy of that caliber under any circumstance, unless you're absolutely desperate.
Now, you guys please call on that one. That's the logic they use.
Yeah.
So the guy still has Justin Jefferson, but he has 3 open slots. That makes no sense.
Well, no, I said
if you have a guy with that type of caliber, you get 2 or 3 people for him where you still have a team.
But that's based on the idea that you think he has a chance to win. I said, looked at his team and said he has no chance to win no matter what trade you make.
But that was people from the outside saying about somebody else's team.
But that's our perspective, though. If you're a fantasy owner, You don't want to. I don't want to see your team get better.
That's what I said. I love it when people keep it real and they say that part.
Yeah.
Say that.
I
You
said
don't want my team to get better, but guess what? He would have got two players and the wide receiver that they, or not just they, everybody was talking about wasn't good enough, has played better than Justin Jefferson in the last 2 weeks.
Well, we agree on that, but my point though is that I still don't want your team to get better. If you're a fantasy owner,
I understand.
You are size up. You know which teams can give you a chance and which teams have no chance. And you know what? So when I see a team that has no chance, and you know what, I don't want to see them make a trade that's going to help a good team get better.
I understand.
And so that's where my argument is.
And I understand that, but I would rather you guys say that instead of saying that. Well, the guy you're giving him that got more points than him and it got the same amount of points to him the week before that is not good enough. I don't want to hear that.
Well, I agree with you. I said if you can get away with the trade, do it.
1-909-844-4443. Call in and holler at us. We about to do these get ready to do our picks.
Yeah, please. We do have a couple of injuries we got to get to real quick before we get to the picks.
Go ahead.
We got some big name guys.
We got the line open. They can call in.
So those Saints fans and the Raider fans, Raider fans still hold on to Derek Carr. Well, actually, we got the old and the new both having injuries. So we got Derek Carr, former Raider quarterback, now with the Saints. He had a shoulder injury. They think he might be out for a few weeks. So we're going to have to wait and see where that's going to go. That's going to leave Jameis Winston in there. But they said they might even start Winston. I'm here talking. They might start somebody else. But we'll see what happens on that. I like Winston. I don't know why Winston.
They're going to put Hill in?
Yeah, they talking about maybe throwing Hill at starter. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Winston needs to leave that team alone and go to a team because he's the number one quarterback. Yeah, I believe that he's learned his lesson because if you remember, he was still throwing 5 touchdown games.
Yeah, but he was throwing 4 interceptions, though. He was throwing 5 touchdowns and 4 interceptions.
I understand, but he sat on the bench long enough to look like he's got it together now.
Right. So, well, yeah, he can end up somewhere. So, yeah, we're going to see what happens with the Saints. And then the new Jimmy Garoppolo, new quarterback for the Raiders, he's in concussion protocol. So, he's week to week. So, we'll have to wait and see if he's going to be out there to play. So those are the main injuries out there. We do got one more big one to talk about.
Who is it, Steve? Who is it?
Austin Eckler. And I'm going to talk about this from a fantasy perspective. Now, when Austin Eckler went down, I thought I was going to be a wise guy and say, I'm going to get Joshua Kelly. Joshua Kelly is going to come in there. And, he's not going to get Austin Eckler points, but he'll at least get it there and get decent enough that's going to help me in fantasy.
Right.
He's been a fantasy pickup dud of the year.
Wait a minute, he had one good game, didn't he?
He had nothing. I think he had one game. He maybe had like 6-7 points. Everything else though, he's been a complete dud.
I'm glad I didn't have to hit that waiver wire.
Man, Austin Eckler, please come back. They said he was practicing. He may be able to get in there. He's optimistic. He can play week 4.
What's wrong with him?
I don't. He's not playing. What's wrong with him? We need him out there playing. I don't know what injury he has, but we need him out there because I got him on the IR in like 3 leagues, and I need him back in there because, man, Joshua Kelly, I can't drop you soon enough. And that's just personal. All right, but that was it for the injury. I had to throw that one in there.
What's up, Stephen Barber? If your league year is and the person isn't winning, is reserve my best. Steve, could you do your sentences a little better when you write them?
I think what he's just trying to say is
he said if your league year is over and the person isn't winning.
Yeah, he's saying if you got a bad team, we don't want to see. Just give up. Don't stay up there and just give guys away. Don't give away star players because your team was bad.
He wasn't giving. Oh, here we go.
It was Justin Jefferson. You just said
he was giving Justin Jefferson and getting a person that gets just the same amount of points.
But that's not the point. The point is that his team is still going to be garbage. What we just keep saying is that his team's going to be garbage whether he trades for 2-3 guys, whatever. He's not going to win. You can win with Justin Jefferson. He can't win with Khalil Herbert and whatever else you gave him, Adam Thielen. You could have given him 5 players.
Blow the whistle sports. Who's calling?
Hey man,
Uh-oh. Who's calling? What's your name, please?
this is Steve.
Steve Barber? What's going on, sir? How you doing?
I'm doing very well. Doing very well. I didn't catch what your remarks was about my sentences.
Oh yeah. Just we just disregard that. He's feeling a little hurt right now. So
They were attacking.
This is me.
I heard him struggling on reading the number out. So I was wondering if he was struggling reading what I was saying.
Oh yeah.
They were attacking. They were attacking me about my fantasy football.
I had to get the brunt of it when the whole thing went down and everybody was attacking him. I had to get the whole brunt of his justification. I mean, we got to the point. Listen to me. We good friends. We got to the point where I had to start yelling at him, "Stop disrespecting me." I'm trying. I know fantasy football. I know it got a little personal for a little bit for a second there because it was just like he's sitting here trying to justify why this trade is a good trade. And I said, I know fantasy. Listen to me. You don't have to sit there and justify it's a good trade. It's a good trade for you. It's not a good trade for him because his team's sorry anyway.
Now, Steve, I got you on the phone. Let me ask you a question. If you have a team and you have 3 slots that need to be filled, right? And and you trade me one of your star players, and I give you 3 people.
Not one of his star players. The star player in the league. Let's call it for what it is. The star player in fantasy.
Okay. All right. Let's say you give me the star player for fantasy in the league, right?
There you go.
Now you give me your star player. I give you 3 players that are not bench players. They're not second string. No. They're all starters. Now, mind you, one of the starters I'm giving you is a wide receiver because I'm taking your best wide receiver because he's the best in the league. Now, listen to this. The person I'm giving you is getting the same amount of points. This is the key thing. I want everybody to listen out there. The same amount of points of the star player. He even outscored the star player by 10. What are you missing? Well, what am I missing, Steve? Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm giving you 3 players, and you're still getting a person that's giving you the same points, even more. What am I doing wrong? Oh, we lost him. Steve,
he was getting tired of hearing that nonsense.
See, Steve,
you're trying to compare.
Did you hear what I said?
The connection was messed up.
Okay,
the connection was messed up. But 3 players for one. If my team is not going to win,
right,
and I can reserve my best players for next year, why would I trade them away?
We're talking about fantasy, Steve.
This is a fantasy talk.
You're not reserving players for next year. And
some leagues do.
The keeper leagues. This is not a keeper league.
Not a keeper league.
But what I'm saying is, I'm giving you a player that's still giving you the same amount of points as Justin Jefferson. He even outscored Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson hasn't outscored him. He's outscored Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
You gotta be. I mean, it's all about strategy. Yeah.
Well, strategy.
You want the most points. So I mean, if it's not a keeper league, then I mean, I could see it both ways, but I guess
it sounds like he wants to disagree with me.
Yeah, well,
it sounds like he wants to kick me. Like no, he doesn't have.
Okay, I'll tell you why. Because Justin Jefferson on any given week can have one of them games where he gets 140 yards and 3 touchdowns. Khalil Herbert and
consistency matters.
Yeah, because Khalil Herbert and Thielen can never do that. There's not going to be any situation where those guys can go off. If you have a fantasy team, you want somebody who you know can consistently have big games. And Justin Jefferson has proven that he can do that. Herbert and Thielen never can do that. That's why the trade would never make sense from our perspective.
I mean, I hear from your perspective, but to me now, Steve, I was only asking you to state the facts out there. Do you want your team to just be dead in the water, or do you want your team to be able to compete every week?
You want to compete every week.
Thank you. Now, if it regardless of what everybody is saying, if I'm giving you a player that's scoring the same amount of points as the big player, what is the difference?
The difference is that guy can never have. Good. Consistency. Thank you. That guy could never have a chance because he's not going to ever have consistency to do well to make the playoffs. So at this
What
point,
did he do the game before and what did he do in the game after?
exactly. So what you do consistently is what's going to make the point of winning and losing.
We don't know
in
what's going to
fantasy.
happen.
So, see, you're doing, but that's a hypothetical again. We have to do fantasy based on what guys have shown they can do.
Probability.
Probability. That's what fantasy is all about. I'm drafting the guy because my belief is that this guy can. Like when I drafted Tua, let me tell you about this. When I drafted Tua as my, I was able to get Tua as my second quarterback, not my first quarterback. My second one.
Him and his Tua rant.
Because I went on the probability, looking at what the talent they have in Miami, I said Tua is going to be able to have big games. Did I tell you he gave me 45 points this week?
I need to bring it up.
45 points in 7 of my leagues. Listen to me. You don't know how much I was dancing. I won 7 leagues this week because of Tua alone.
But Steve, did you have any other thing other than fantasy to holler at us about?
Oh man, I just had to address that real quick.
We appreciate it. We appreciate
Thank you for calling in, man. And thank you for tuning in, man.
Before you tune out, who's this team? You need to ask the guy who the team is. Who's your team? What team do you root for?
Oh yeah, we go for the Niners.
Okay, so he's a Niner man. All right, so look at me.
Oh man, they all over the place.
Niner fans.
And what city are you calling from, Steve?
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan.
And you're not excited about the Lions this year? You don't have a Lions?
I mean, I get the hype, but again, consistency, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've been so down on the dumps, though. I mean,
they could only go up.
They can only go up. So I mean, that win against the Chiefs was
I mean, it is what it is. They're rocking and rolling and roaring down in the D. They're doing big things, but
you're a Niner man. You say
I'm loyal.
I'm mad at you for that. Listen to me. I got you guys now as the number 1 team in the top 5 of our.
And what do they call it? The 49er faithful?
49er faithful. I mean, they're all over. Listen to me. I'll tell you before you go. I'll tell you a quick story. The old Candlestick Park. I went to one of the last games. It was a Redskins Niner game the last year at Candlestick Park, and so we were like, we got to go to legendary Candlestick Park. We got to go there before it closes. So we went up there wearing our Redskin gear. Great game. The Niners pulled it out at the end, and then we had to do the walk of shame.
You got to get harassed all the way to your car.
Listen to me. We had people wearing Niner gear harassing us. People wearing Raider gear. People were having Giant shirts on. It was just so tiring. It was just like, God, I didn't understand all this hate. I mean, just hatred and venom and in your face. I'm like, we're just trying to go home. Our team already lost. We feeling bad.
We lost already. Y'all won. Why y'all
running after us? I mean, that was the longest walk to the car ever.
Oh man.
So that's my memory of Niner fans. That was a horrible stadium. The worst seats in the NFL. Those seats were hard.
I don't know.
Those seats were hard as hell.
The old Charger Stadium. Yeah. Those seats are ridiculous also.
Oh my God.
My knees were just like crunched in on the back of them.
I was crying like, please let this game hurry up and end. It was just so miserable.
Make you not even want to go to
the game. Yeah. I thank God for the new stadiums and the new seats because Candlestick Park, thank God they demolished that stadium.
But thank you for calling in, Steve. Thank you for your support, sir.
Thank you, guys.
All right. You have a good day now.
You too.
I guess it's time for them picks. You ready to get?
Hey, yes. If anybody else want to call in, we about to get up out of here. We about to do our picks. 1-909-844-4443. You can call and tell Steve what he said was wrong.
Oh yeah.
And then what I said was right. And
13-3.
Make everything good. Make everything good.
Keep saying 13-3 last week. Just remember, guys, I can win you guys some money. Okay, but let's get to speaking of the
13-3. We gonna rub that in my face. Okay,
yeah. Right. Let's talk about them Lions. Speaking of the Lions, we got the Lions on tomorrow night, right?
Yes, sir. Lions and Green Bay Packers.
And Green Bay. Jordan Love.
Love's in the air.
Love is in the air. Are they 3-0 now? Are they still?
No, 2-1.
2-1. Okay,
2-1. Both teams are 2-1. Both teams are
2-1. Okay, so the Packers did lose a game, but they came back with a big comeback.
It's like they didn't miss a beat from Rodgers leaving. It's like Love came in there and he moved into the spot, and he's like, "Yeah, it feels good here."
Yeah, he did something that not even Brett Favre could do last week. They had 11 point. They were down by 11 points in the fourth quarter. He came back and won the game for them.
Did that.
So that's pretty impressive. So Lions at the Packers. With all that being said, I'm taking the upstart Lions.
You can take the Lions all you want to.
Okay,
I'm taking love.
Okay,
I'm taking love, Steve.
I love too, but I love the Lions.
I'm taking Green Bay
more right. All right, so they got the Lions. You got the Packers. Go ahead. Oh, we got a call.
Hello.
Somebody didn't like that pick.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Blow Sports. Who's calling?
This is Darnell, Mr. 49 in the house.
49 the faithful. How you doing, sir?
I'm all right. How's it going?
Oh, man, lovely.
Yes.
Yeah, Steve, I was loving what you were saying about them Cowboys.
Ooh, man. This isn't beautiful. I'm a Commanders fan. You know, Niner fans hate the Cowboys. We hate the Cowboys. Everybody hates the Cowboys. So
everybody hates the Cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, they're just the worst fan base.
I'm an equal opportunity hater. I don't like any other team but Carolina. But I am a player's person. I like players.
But let me hear you. Why do you hate the Cowboys?
You're a 49er fan.
Well, I mean, no, but tell what
caused stand them. They are they brag about
exactly. There you go.
Like the Raiders.
There you go.
And they suck.
Yes.
And they talking about they're America's team and they not.
There you go. Thank you.
And another thing about it is, if you really do the history on it, an announcer gave them that name.
Was the announcer did?
Announcer said that they was America's team,
and it stuck,
and it stuck with it.
And then the ownership in them, they ran with it.
They ran with it, yeah.
He should have coined it.
And they're not.
And they're not. And quite frankly, they really never have been America's team. I mean, that's always been something. I mean, just let's be real about it. In the 70s, the Steelers owned them.
For America.
Yeah, exactly.
What have they did?
Nothing.
Hey,
Nothing
D,
at all.
Thank you for calling in, but we want you to do some picks with us, man, because we got to get out of here. We ran over a little bit, but we want you to do some picks with us, and I hope you in the office pool, man, so you can win some of these NFL gift cards.
Yeah, we need some guys to pick.
Up yet, but I'm gonna look into it.
All you gotta do is be a subscriber on YouTube and sign up for our office pool. Like next week, somebody's gonna win some NFL gift cards, and then every 4 weeks we're gonna go through who won the most games.
I'm gonna let you know I was 13-3 last week. Just let you know.
Oh my goodness, he's feeling himself right now.
I picked against my Commanders. You know, you took the Commanders last week, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Okay. As much as I love the Commanders, I said there's no way they're gonna beat Buffalo.
Buffalo.
And I said, ooh, they're ugly. But get in the office football pool. We need you.
Before y'all get started, that Miami game was outrageous.
Loved it.
70 points.
Man.
I damn near, I was like, this is like playing Tecmo Bowl back in the day.
Yes, sir. Bo Jackson running around in the circle.
On one team, I had both Tua and Mostert. Look at that. Tua had 3 touchdowns and 400 yards, and Mostert had 4 touchdowns.
On one team, I had Mozart and Keenan Allen.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good team.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so I'm riding Tua all the way. But I think
I'm losing you. I'm getting a bad signal now.
Oh, you getting a bad signal? You want to hang up and call right back?
See if we can get you back in there.
Yeah, I hung up so he can call right back.
All right, well, let's do a couple picks while we're waiting.
Falcons at the Jaguars.
Jags out of the way.
I'm taking the Falcons.
Ooh,
Green Bay and the Falcons. Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, you
Dolphins at the Bills.
You feeling froggy? You feeling real froggy? Dolphins at the Bills. This was a tie. I took the Bills this week, even though as great as the Dolphins look.
Hey, you can be.
It's in Buffalo.
I don't care where it's at. I'm going with the Tua.
Okay.
And the Tyreek Hill. I'm taking the Dolphins this week, sir.
All right, but hey,
that's the only way I'm gonna catch you.
I know.
But this is the best pick. Also,
you're going with the road teams this week. I see. Okay, keep going.
Minnesota at the Carolina Panthers.
Now watch this, homie. Watch this pick. Watch this pick.
What's your pick, Steve?
Look at me. As much as I hate Kirk Cousins, I'm taking Minnesota. Your team is still god awful. I don't care how many points that Andy Dalton gave up. Minnesota has to win. They can't go 0-4.
I can't do it.
I know you can't do it. I know you can't.
Cali Cat Pack, Roaring Riot, Panther Nation, holla at your boy. Stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. I don't care who you are. I'm taking Carolina. We got a chance. And I'm no hate on my QB of the future, but I want Andy Dalton to start. I want him to sit and watch the speed of this NFL. He did a good thing. He was watching last week. He was in there. He had the earpiece on. Do the same thing. Back up Andy Dalton. Let Andy Dalton go in there and get this win for us. Get your practice on. Get up to speed, man. But Carolina, I'm taking Carolina.
That's one thing we do agree on. We both think Andy Dalton should start. I'm still taking Minnesota. They can't go 1-4, so they got to win. All right.
Man, you can hate all you want to.
Okay. I'm keeping it real.
Darnell, he's on Facebook. He's on YouTube. He said Lions. He's taking the Lions.
Good pick.
Oh, you guys can take the Lions all you want to. I told you who's going to win.
All right.
Okay. Broncos at the Bears. 2-0-3 teams.
Yeah. God, the Bears are just such a mess. I got to take the Broncos. It's just.
They got to get
well, but
Russell Wilson.
They're going to bounce back. When you lose that bad, you bounce back the next week.
Russell, whoever your last name is, I'm going with you this week over the Bears. I believe you guys have a little more life than what the Bears is doing. Yeah. I don't even know what the Bears should be at that level right now, where it looks like they're improving, right? Like the Jags did, but the Jags seem like they took a step back, and the Bears seem like they just fell off.
They just fell off the face of the earth. So I can't, even at home. I mean, the only reason I can see them winning because they are at home, but I just think the Broncos going to bounce back. That just was too bad of a loss they had.
Baltimore at the Browns.
This was my toughest one of the week because I got a reason to take both teams. I went back and forth. I'm only taking the Browns because they're at home. Yeah. That's the only reason. I mean, there's no logical reason why I'm taking them. I just think
I'm taking the Browns also.
Is at home.
Their team to me is more well-rounded than the Ravens. The Ravens, all you got to do is be able to shut down Lamar Jackson, and it's over for them.
And there's something wrong with the Ravens. They don't look right. I watched several of the games this year, and something's not right with Lamar Jackson.
I don't understand why he won't get settled, and he has weapons. Pass it to him.
Yeah, he got that big contract, and I think he's one of them guys. Remember last year I had worries about him, the way he ended the season. I think he got that contract, and he's just not. He don't have the same fire in him.
No fire.
No fire. It's just like he's just out there getting, doing what I got to do.
Pittsburgh at the Texans.
God, the Texans looked pretty strong last week, but Steelers got to win.
Taking the Steelers also. Rams at the Colts. I'm taking the Colts.
I got the Colts as well. I don't buy into, Stafford. I don't know.
Buccaneers at the Saints. Alvin Kamara. I'm taking the Saints.
Yeah, I took the Saints too. It was close, but I took the Saints at home.
Washington. You see that W on your hat?
Yeah, Commanders at the Eagles.
Yes, sir.
Now, once again, there's your heart pick and there's your common sense pick. Now, remember, the Commanders went to Philadelphia last year and beat the Eagles on Monday Night Football. I don't know if you remember that last year.
I remember that. I remember.
Well, I think Jalen Hurts remembers that too. He gonna put a whoop ass on the Commanders. I got the Eagles winning easily. That's your lock of the week.
Oh, I'm taking the Eagles too. Bengals at the Titans.
Bengals.
I say the Bengals. I want to go with you. I want to go with you so bad, but it just didn't look right. And the one thing the Titans do have is some defense. Ah, man, this game right here is the one that I've been juggling because it should be an easy one for the Bengals.
Right, should be easy.
But do they look like the Bengals?
No, they don't. But they do. If they want to stay in the playoff race, they got to win this one. So I got the Bengals just for that reason. The Titans, until they get what's his name out of that quarterback, I just can't. Tannehill. I can't buy into him.
It's you know how you say Tannehill, he's like,
yeah.
It's the same way when I say the Cowboys and Dak Prescott.
Right. I agree.
The team is nice. All you got to do is put somebody at the helm, and that team takes off.
I I agree with you. I'm not a huge Dak fan either, but I'm just saying I'm not a Cowboy fan, so I just think the Cowboys aren't going to do it.
You're taking the Bengals?
I got the Bengals, yeah.
I want to take the Titans, but I'm taking the Bengals also.
A good move.
Raiders at the Chargers.
Raiders at the Chargers.
And at the Chargers, I'm taking the Chargers.
Yeah, we don't know if Jimmy G's going to play. They said they might put in what's that guy who used to play for the Chiefs? I forgot his name, but they're talking about putting in a guy who's just not going to get the job done. I got the Chargers.
And this is the team that I want Carolina to go get the wide receiver. I know we're going to have to give up our defensive player.
Yeah.
But we need a bona fide number one who demands a double team, which gives our young QB a chance. Yeah. We need that. We should have got DeAndre Hopkins until we were able to, because all we needed was to pay money, and we had the wallet. I said I was going to get off that rant.
He doesn't. That's the same rant again.
That's my heart.
I know. I feel it.
Patriots at the Cowboys.
The Cowboys got to bounce back this week. I mean, after you lose a game like that to Arizona, they're at home. They'll find a way to win.
One thing the Cowboys you can never take away from them is that Cowboy pride.
Yeah.
That defense got smacked around. If you have the Cowboy defense in, I say you better put them in fantasy. That Cowboys, they're down on themselves. They coming to play this game.
Yeah.
Now Belichick can put together a good game plan, but what the Cowboys is about to do is what the Cowboys is about to do. It's about to be a murder right here.
You're talking about a quarterback, Tannehill, Mac Jones. How many chances does this guy get a chance? He hasn't done anything yet, and still keeps getting chance after chance after chance.
He looked good when Brady came to the game. What you talking about?
Yeah. And then ever since then, I mean, they barely beat the Jets last week, and I mean the Jets were doing nothing to try to win. And they barely pulled out a win over the Jets.
Oh, don't worry, Darnell. Before we go off, I'm gonna say all your picks out so everybody can hear Darnell's picks. He's a 49er faithful.
49er faithful. Did we do Cardinals 49ers yet?
No, we the 49ers is right now.
All right.
Cardinals at the 49ers.
Well, this is I did say earlier that the pick with the Eagles was a slam dunk pick of the week. The pick with the Niners is going to be the slam dunk pick of the week. Niners are going to put hands on the Cardinals.
And my pick 4, these are 2 of my pick 4s, the 49ers and the Eagles. You got to put that in there. 49ers and the Eagles. Now mind you, I know. The last weeks, I told you, when I do these pick 4s, you got to give me at least 4 weeks before it's solid where you can start making your bread. This week, no. 49ers and the Eagles.
I was going to say, what are you talking about?
49ers and the Eagles are the teams that you put on your parlay card, yes, and you will be just fine. 49ers, Eagles,
and then
we'll go back after this. Okay. Chiefs and Jets.
That's your third team to put on there. The Chiefs are going to put hands on. Now that you got Travis Kelce playing for Taylor Swift, he's going to be playing his you-know-what off. He alone is going to beat the Jets. Because
I'm taking the Chiefs also.
Yeah. Put Kelce in your fantasy league. If you got him on fantasy, put him in.
And last but not least, Monday night, Seahawks at the Giants.
This was a tough one, too.
Not for me. Seahawks all the way.
Yeah, I got Seahawks, too, but Giants on Monday night, they always...
Is Saquon playing?
I think they're talking about Saquon may have a chance to play. It's one of those game time decisions. I haven't heard any definitive.
And I might put them on my pick 4. Now, we're both taking the Seahawks, right?
Yes.
Let me run through Darnell's picks because we got to get up out of here. We ran over. Darnell said he's taking the Lions, Broncos, Browns, Texans, Saints, Eagles, Bengals, Chargers, Cowboys, 49ers, Chiefs, and the Seahawks.
Sound like good picks to me.
Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for all your love and support. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
And let's give you this pick 4 before we get out of here. And my pick 4 of the week, like you already said, 49ers, Eagles.
Got to include the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
The Chiefs going to beat the Jets.
Chiefs and Seahawks.
Okay.
Seahawks, Chiefs, Eagles, 49ers. That's my pick 4 of the week.
That's a fair one.
And we will see y'all next week. You got anything?
No, I just enjoy the football. Like I said, I just every week the NFL never ceases to amaze me.
And I wasn't arguing with you, Steve. I was just disagreeing.
Oh, we were, yeah. No, you were arguing.
I was disagreeing with you.
You were heated. I understand why you were heated. I mean, it was a fair point. I mean, they were all teaming up on you. I understand.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was the fact that the whole disregard for the player I'm giving the same amount of points.
Right.
So that was the disregard, and the other disregard was the person I'm giving players to. If he doesn't get the players, his fantasy football season is over.
Right. But like I said, the only argument we had was that his fantasy football season was over anyway. So we didn't think he had any chance. Trade or no trade, he's not going to do anything fantasy. I mean, people have to understand. If you look at the rest of his team, he's not going anywhere. He can make 5 trades, and he's not going anywhere in fantasy.
Yeah.
So it's just that's where we have an issue with, is that as fantasy owners, we become particular that we don't want to see anybody one up themselves, make themselves better. And
right.
I mean, that's just the gamesmanship of fantasy.
Hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
We out here to make this money.
Yeah. You want to win, but like I said, we don't want to see you lose. I mean, that's just part of fantasy.
Like, subscribe, and share. We'll see y'all next week. We went over. Sorry, but hey, it's a good show.
Yeah, and officefootballpool.com. See if you can get in there this week. You still have time. You can go all the way up until like 5 minutes before the game to put your picks in. So you got up until tomorrow, I think like 5:10, they'll let you put your picks in.
Yes. We'll see y'all next week at 7.
At 7.